All right, let me go over again this idea of the tax holiday for corporations and repatriating profits. Okay, that's another term that you hear thrown around a lot. Larry Kudlow again out there. Oh, this is gonna re-oxygenate the economy. Okay, this tax holiday. Now I've spoken about this before, and I've debunked this whole thing about how this is really a kind of a non-existent concept. It's kind of a fantasy, and I went through all the different possibilities of what they're talking about here. First of all, if this is, let's just understand one thing: companies do business overseas because they ostensibly they see a demand for their goods and services that is not being met here domestically. So they see market demand. They see an opportunity to profit above and beyond the profits they are getting here domestically in the United States, and that's why they set up operations overseas. And that requires investment overseas. It requires paying a workforce. It requires marketing. Okay, so there's going to be a need for uh, capital in their overseas operations to sustain that business. Okay, and furthermore, if they are earning money in a foreign currency, let's say they're doing business in Europe or they're doing business in Japan or China, whatever, and they are earning in that domestic currency, then that money resides or stays in basically on deposit in the central bank of the respective currency that we're talking about. So if they're earning in euro, that's in the ECB. If they're earning in yen, that's in the Bank of Japan. If they're earning in yuan, that's in the Bank of China. Now, to repatriate that, first of all, and every company has to file a tax return and declare their profits. If they're a U.S. based company, like everybody here, if you earn money, you file a tax return and you declare your profits and you pay a tax on that income. Now, maybe the income earned abroad, there might be a lower tax rate. I'm not a tax accountant, so I can't tell you, but I'll assume, let's just for the sake of argument, we'll say there's a lower tax rate on that income. So if the tax rate, if it's a one-time deal and they say, okay, the government says now under Trump administration, we're going to charge you X percent less, um, bringing that money back, first of all that is, it's a foreign exchange operation, right? They would have to convert the euros into dollars. Um, and then you would have to wonder why they would do that in the first place, because the earnings are, or at least partially, redeployed into the things that I mentioned. They're going to need money in their foreign operations to pay work staff, pay employees, for marketing, whatever else they're going to need, distribution of the product, etc. So it doesn't make any sense for as a one-time thing. If you're talking about a subsidy, either a tax subsidy or a direct subsidy to, let's say, sustain or boost domestic demand so that it is worthwhile for them to shut down or leave their foreign operations and set up base here in the U.S., because now that subsidy makes it profitable for them to expand their operation to a level that it was when you included their foreign operation, then yeah, but that's not a one-time thing. That would be an ongoing subsidy. And we see that in countries like Japan. We see that in China. Japan did that for decades. That's how it became, such a great industrial export power. It subsidized industries like autos and electronics and things like that. It was a direct subsidy by the government. I don't think he's talking about that. If a country is let's say it's a U.S. company that is has a it's headquartered in a foreign country, so let's call it, it's a foreign corporation. It's a U.S. corporation, but they've turned themselves into a foreign corporation because they moved their headquarters somewhere. Let's say Ireland or the Jersey Islands or something like that, someplace offshore. But they're doing business in the United States and they're earning dollars in the United States. The dollars are here. There's only one place dollars can be on deposit, and that is at the Federal Reserve. All dollars on deposit reside at the Federal Reserve. All right, that's the Federal Reserve keeps the accounts. It's the dollar, that's the dollar central. All right. So I don't see, and if they're earning money, they're paying taxes on that. Foreign entities that do business in the United States are subject to U.S. taxation. I don't see how that's going to make any difference either. So it really comes down to whether or not Trump intends to, in an ongoing way, subsidize businesses here. Either that, or have a plan by which domestic demand rises sufficiently to make the need for foreign business less attractive. In other words, if you have the ability to produce more and sell more, but the domestic demand just isn't, there, but then Trump boosts up that domestic demand to make it worthwhile to produce more and employ more people here, they'll do that. But that's another way of saying boost the income of consumers. Very easy to do that. All right, I could do that in two minutes. You boost the income of workers here in the United States so that they could consume more of whatever it is you produce, so that you don't have to go to a foreign country to find demand for your products. Very simple. But this thing, like Kudlow's saying, we're going to bring back, you can't bring it back. It's either already here or it's over there for a reason. And a one-time tax holiday is not going to do anything. Not going to do anything. It's stupid. It's not economics. That's a zero understanding of economics there. We're going to bring it back. It's nothing to bring back. If you're earning, very simple here, folks, just think about this, really let it sink in, okay? If you are earning money in dollars, it doesn't matter who you are, Mike Norman, one of you people out there, or a big corporation like General Motors or Microsoft, if you are earning money in dollars, no matter where that is in the world, the dollars are here. It's the only place they can be. All right? If you are earning money somewhere else in the world and you are earning a foreign currency, then you are doing that ostensibly for a reason, and that is you have tapped into some demand outside of the United States because the United States demand is not strong enough to meet all that you are able to produce. Okay? So you're maximizing your output by tapping into some foreign demand. And why would you shut that down? Unless there's some guarantee that the demand here is going to be boosted up to offset the closure of your foreign operation. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. And it's more this kind of stupid non-economics that's being put out there as some kind of real plan. Really, guys like Kudlow. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Free market capitalism is the path to prosperity. Where is it a free market? Every single country in the world has rules and regulations and tariffs and subsidies and patent protections and you name it. And if there was a country that didn't have any of that stuff, where it was completely wide open like the jungle, then you would have monopolies that would dominate. You would have cronyism. You would have cartels. There's no such thing. It's a fantasy. What it freaking puts that out there. No wonder why his show was canceled. He's going to be the chief economist of the United States, folks. That's what you got.